Hello, people. Welcome, video. Hope you good. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. Someone by the name of Hogan, that is not Hulk Hogan, is another Hogan, believes that the language used in the recent ruling of the Ripple versus SEC case says that he thinks that, this is Hogan, not Hulk Hogan, believes that a large portion of the summary judgment has been drafted. So, as far as I can understand from the news that has been given to me, that apparently I think Hogan is an attorney or some higher up, or he knows or claims to know things about law, what have you. Apparently, there was something recently released by the judge, by the courthouse, I don't know. And he says that he thinks that the wording of it could potentially mean that the final draft for the judgment has been written, but simply has not been released based off of the news that he received. As is to be expected, this news, of course, was incredibly popular as this court judgment summary case Ripple SEC thing has been going on for at least 19 and a half years now and seems to have no end. Judge Annalisa Torres's ruling on the party's motion to seal is currently the hottest topic in the XRP community, as people believe that this will be the end of the lawsuit. As reported by Crypto Basic, Judge Torres denied the SEC's motion to seal the drafts of William Hinman's 2018 controversial speech, where he declared Bitcoin and Ethereum as non-securities. Furthermore, the judge denied Ripple's request to seal financial information regarding its XRP sales to on-demand liquidity clients and the amount the Silicon Valley-based tech firm paid to crypto trading platforms to list the coin. I'm going to say this once and then we're going to move on, because I know someone's ears just did a little jiggle and they were like, I knew it. For those of you who do not, rather, I'll give it to you this way, in a nice, simple, easy way. Many years ago, cryptocurrency exchanges realized that they had an unrealized amount of power in that everyone wanted to be listed on them. And as such, they began to announce that. Some of them did it openly, and other ones we found out because of companies who were like, yeah, we had to pay X company X amount of money to be listed on their exchange. There was a time when XRP was actually the number 2 coin. I know, crazy, right? It's happened multiple times. And a lot of the fear from Bitcoin maximalists is that if XRP had doubled once again in price, it would have become the number 1 coin. And it was roughly around this time that speculation had begun to be that XRP would be listed on multiple different cryptocurrency exchanges, but they weren't. They weren't popping up as many places as other people thought. And then we all found out that apparently they had to pay in a sinister turn of events, that you would make the number 2 or number 3 coin have to pay to be able to be listed on a cryptocurrency exchange is just a bit of a I don't want to use the term market manipulation, but it's more of a it's a light smack in the face as far as a why not simply just list them? Why make sure that this popular coin that could potentially have become the number 1 coin has an even harder time? So, and once again, to clarify it out there, it appears as if the only coin that has never had to pay to be on any exchange was Bitcoin. This appears to be the news. We've had this all over the course of the last couple of years. I know we have some new people here. Hello to you, all of you out there. But as it stands, we heard before, even in 2016, for those of you who don't remember, it was a while ago. There was a point where the Ethereum company foundation coin was actually cascading, falling down. There was no interest in it. There was and you know what? I'll actually try and even find the article. It's an article from a long, long time ago where Vitalik Buterin and the other guys, Joseph Lubin, where they were basically announcing that they needed extra funding because the coin wasn't doing that well. Smack dab into 2017, the market begins to go up, prices begin to rise. People realize what Ethereum's for. People start throwing money into Ethereum, and now we have the number 2 coin. So I saw a lot of people, and will continue to probably forever, discussing that XRP had to pay to be listed on exchanges. Every coin does. We heard that many years ago from many different crypto exchanges that you have to pay. No one knows exactly what the fees are. Apparently, it ranges from coin to coin. So we've seen other projects around 2018, 2019 declaring that some of them had to pay $50,000. Other of them said they had to pay $500,000 to have their coins listed. So this is what I guess the Ripple company is trying to seal. Maybe it was something egregious. Maybe it was like 2.5 million, and maybe they're like a bit embarrassed that they had to pay so much more. But once again, also, I wish not only that the world was fair, I know that's never going to happen, but if the cryptocurrency space was more fair to itself, to each other, I think we'd literally be near a crypto utopia. But most people on the planet are garbage. It is worth noting that Judge Torres also ruled on third parties' sealing requests. Enthusiasts of the 6th largest cryptocurrency by market cap have taken to Twitter to react to Judge Torres' decision on the parties' sealing request. Some XRP fans expressed excitement, yada yada. So the part that really got me, this guy basically believes that according to the wording that was in the documents, it says it somewhere here, and I'm going to try and find it because my eyes rolled out of my head when I read it. He basically thinks that the answer is somewhere in between they lost and they won. I'm not joking. He thinks that on different fronts that we will probably hear the lawyer or the judge say that Ripple is correct, but as far as other things, he thinks that the SEC is going to win. And if neither side wins, or like, 90% win, you definitely are the winner here, then XRP would not be considered a security, but the company Ripple would have to pay other fees because they should have registered in 2016, or they should have gone to this office, or that's kind of the general idea. It said it's somewhere around here, and I was like, so they lost one, or they won lost kind of thing. So a lot of people are very excited. You might have seen XRP's price has been going up over the last couple of weeks and days, and this is just the general excitement of the lawsuit potentially ending soon. And for those of you who missed the last 7 or 8 days of videos, Ripple is working with 16 countries in Africa. They're helping Hong Kong create their central bank digital currency. What else was there? There's a whole bunch of stuff. Ripple's in the news all the time now. Remember there was like a 9-month period where there was just no Ripple news, and I was like, ooh, what's going on? Nope, they're in the news every single gosh darn day. That's the Hogan has read through the documents, and he believes that the ruling is nigh or soon or something. I'm going to stop talking. That's the Ripple news. And yeah, let's move on. In what? No, that's crazy. How could that possibly be happening? On-chain data shows that Bitcoin whales have accumulated 84,897 Bitcoin just in the last 5 weeks. Something that could be bullish for the price, probably not. The only thing that's moving prices right now is if the stock market moves. In a world where numbers make sense, because numbers are never wrong. I'm not sure if you know that phrase, but numbers can't lie, as they, 1 + 1 will always be 1. Don't throw any invisible numbers at me or any other of that other crap. You know what I'm talking about. And as we continuously have on a daily cryptocurrency news channel, been receiving word that whales are constantly buying up tons of Bitcoin and Ether and XRP. Remember the Litecoin news that we had? For those of you who missed that, apparently there's what is it? A handful of wallets own 60% of all the Litecoin. If that rattles your chains, go watch the video, and it'll all be explained. But basically, as prices fall, as prices don't do well, as prices are faltering, they slip, flash crashes, you name it, the whales continue to buy. And I wholeheartedly believe that the whales are eventually going to own all the crypto, as I've been saying for years. People think like, oh, TMI is crazy. No, when you get news that over the course of a month and a week, 84,000 Bitcoin went to the same wallets that they've been going to over the course of the last 12, 13 years, it's fairly obvious where all this is going. So it is in essence, yes, extremely bullish for the wealthy people who are constantly buying up all these coins. But to everyone else not paying attention when prices do skyrocket, it's always the latecomers who actually push up our market. For those of you who don't know that, there are like different stages of the market moving up. It's the, oh, snaps, there's not a lot left. So the generalized buying pressure on an exchange will actually move the prices quite rapidly. And then you have the people within the cryptocurrency space who go, oh, snaps, I should have been, I don't know why I always say, oh, snaps, that I should have been buying before. Let me buy right now. I had 2 years and I simply didn't do it. I don't know why. They begin to buy. Prices keep moving up. And then you have the third tier, which are the normies, the people who are not into crypto, who will then eventually start throwing as much money as possible when Bitcoin has 4 or 5x'd. They will realize that the friends who they made fun of before for buying Bitcoin were correct. They begin to buy. And here's a big hint for all of you. Never forget this. You know when the bull market bubble is about to pop when your friends, your aunt, your grandmother, who are not into crypto, begin to tell you that they just bought crypto. This sounds like a joke. It is a very real thing. You can always tell the end of a bull cycle when normal people, your Uber driver, your doorman, the guy who works at the grocery store goes, hey, did you buy this coin? That is a red flag. Always. It has been the same every single bull market. Just so you know. Anyway, 5 weeks, almost 85,000 Bitcoin off the table. We're seeing this constantly. The other bullish indicator is that the wallets who continue to buy up in mass, they don't sell and have been buying for a number of years. And the idea, once again, is they're going to own everything because for some reason, normal people just aren't paying attention to what's happening in the market. That's the Bitcoin whales news. And yeah, let's move on. Also I don't get it, but someone's going to like it. Crypto exchange Coinbase has taken its zero-fee subscription service Coinbase One out of beta testing and has expanded it from just the US to also include the UK, Germany, and Ireland for $30 a month. Customers don't pay trading fees and also get higher staking rewards, which I think is a little weird that you have to pay more to get the money that you would have normally gotten from staking. Can you imagine me being like, hey, give me your coins and I'll stake it for you. And you would normally get 5%, but I'm only going to give you 3% because, it's my service. Actually, if you could pay me $30 per month, I'll give you the little extra that you would have already gotten if you had staked these coins on your own computer. Yeah, slimy, right? Yes, yeah. Coinbase is not my favorite. The service has been in beta testing since 2021. Coinbase aims to further widen its international reach with plans to offer Coinbase One in 35 countries, according to an email from the company. This comes after CEO Brian Armstrong indicated last month that Coinbase would consider moving away from the US. They're not, if the regulatory environment did not become clearer. Coinbase doesn't have a fraction of the cojones that you would never. They're so afraid of potentially, Coinbase is probably one of those companies who believes that the SEC, despite everything that they've been doing, will give them a license to have a Bitcoin ETF or give them cryptocurrency rules and regulations, as opposed to simply just packing up, going somewhere else and making billions of dollars where you actually have rules and regulations. Coinbase One will offer pre-filed tax return documents to U.S. clients, access to Masari insights, and analytics through a pro account and a 6-month free trial for personal crypto portfolio analytics from CoinTracker. For those of you who didn't see this on whatchamacallit, on Twitter, Coinbase had a countdown. It was very weird. Like one day they had the number 3 and it was like a little animation. Everyone was like, 3 what? And the next day it was 2 and everyone was like, what are we counting down to? And then it hit 1 and they launched Coinbase One. So yeah, you can pay them extra to do stuff that you would normally be doing, but now you're going to get pre-filled in tax return documents. You'll be able to use Masari, and what was the other thing? And you get higher staking. That's the real kicker for me, because you would have already gotten that beforehand, but you know, that's how companies work. That's Coinbase One. I can't believe it. That's insanato. I wasn't expecting that at all. News. I mean, they're trying. They're trying to do what they can, but I don't know. I think Coinbase has kind of lost its mind. That's the Coinbase news. Whoa, it says Coinbase One launches amid regulatory challenges. Yeah, but what are you gonna do? You can't wait like 9 years for the SEC to finally, help and do something. All right, let's move on. Also in the news, which we lightly touched on for the other story, defense lawyer and former federal prosecutor James K. Phelan expects the infamous Hinman speech documents to be released publicly on the 6th of June. Citing a previous court order, the Hinman documents relate to a 2018 speech from former SEC Commissioner, Finance of the Finance Division Director Bill Hinman, who essentially stated that Ether and Bitcoin were not securities. The documents involve the SEC's internal discussion and deliberations around this speech. For those of you who aren't an XRP head, that's not what they call themselves, who's not an XRPer, the Hinman documents are kind of like the Indiana Jones golden document that everyone wants to be, to have a hold of, but they simply cannot. The idea is that back in the olden days, for some reason, the SEC came forward out of nowhere, and said that Bitcoin was not a security. And everyone was like, cool, got that. Bitcoin doesn't have an office, the same as Ethereum or Cardano or Tron. They all have foundations, what have you. And then a day later, they were like, Ethereum's also not a security. And everyone was like, well, cool. This is it. We're getting regulatory compliance. We've been waiting for 1,000 years for this. I remember it was a really good time, because we were like, okay, cool, the market can begin to move on, because Coinbase and a number of other companies had stated that, we were going to start getting regulatory compliance. Things would be more structured, and then, companies would move in. This was when Coinbase and a bunch of other companies stopped caring about us, because they were only offering products to very wealthy people. 2018, glorious time for rich people just getting richer. But then they stopped. The SEC announced no other coin. People assumed that the SEC was going to go in order as one, coin number 1, coin number 2, coin number 3, but they stopped. There were no other coins after that. So the reason why this is a golden document is because apparently it contains the reasoning within the SEC as to why Bitcoin and Ethereum are not securities. You want to know why this is special? Because if you can read their words and see exactly why they constituted Ethereum specifically as not being a security, you can base your metrics of your coin onto that. If the people within the SEC room said, well, they have 1,000 nodes, there are more than 1 million addresses holding this coin, there's a so-and-so here, we know that they started the coin through this method. Every other person, every other coin, every other project then simply has to go, okay, we need 1,000 nodes. Once we get over 1 million wallet addresses, once you hit all the metrics as to why they chose Ethereum as not being a security, that in essence would give more regulatory clarity than anything else the SEC has done. And the SEC has been trying to hide this document for nearly 5 years. When Gary Gensler sits there and lies and says that there is proper regulatory clarity within the United States and everyone's asking for it, and they get none, and everyone says, please, sir, can I see your documents so I can see if I have regulatory clarity? And they go, no. Why does the SEC continue to lie? Anyway, the point of the matter is, apparently, these documents will be released to the public by the 6th of June, which would then cause a gigantic amount of fervor in the space, because once you read these documents and know exactly what they said, every coin just has to mimic those metrics or go a step further, and then your coin would mathematically have to be considered as a commodity or something else that the SEC cannot control. In a Twitter thread, Philan, who has been actively following the SEC versus Ripple case over the past couple of years, provided an update on when the documents could be unsealed to the public, according to the court's 9/12/2022 order. The parties have 21 days to file public, redacted versions of summary judgment documents consistent with the sealing ruling. June 6th is 21 days from the ruling, from yesterday's ruling, he wrote, and here's the tweet for it right here. So this would, in essence, we'd be near the end of the entire idea as to why every other coin, for those of you who missed that as well, who don't like XRP, you might definitely miss this. The SEC has claimed that they believe that every coin is a security and needs to fall under their jurisdiction. So when we know for a fact why Ethereum isn't a security in their eyes, and every other coin can simply match those metrics, well, guess what? We don't need the SEC anymore. Yeah, see, exactly. It's very, very big. And it's also, if you remember last year, there was it took like months. It was so nonsensical. Ripple, during the court case, asked the judge to ask the SEC to give them the paperwork to be like, hey, can we get this over with like right now? And I think it took the SEC, was it 3 months, to write back a letter that literally just said NO. And they were like, no, we're not going to give it to you. So like through a court order, now it has to, I believe, be released. So cool. You know, maybe the never ending story actually has an ending. I want to say optimistically passive in that no part of me believes this lawsuit is going to end anytime during this decade. But if we see something by, June, July, August, coinciding with the potential end of the raising of interest rates, we might be in a, good position to start all making a lot of money. That's the SEC needs to get it together because I'm tired of the corruption news. And I don't even have a cryptocurrency company. Can you imagine how terrible it has to be to have a company that you know nothing of what's going on? The regulators will not regulate. You're scared every day of having to pay like a $25 million fine. Oh, SEC. Anyway, that's the SEC news. Yeah. Let's move on. Also in what logic? This is I don't understand the world. I really want to get it, and I'm not. Crypto exchanges that wish to do business in Texas will need to maintain enough reserves to fulfill all obligations to their customers. That's literally like me saying, oh, you are dehydrated? Go drink some water. Oh my gosh, I am hungry. You know what I have? Food. Crypto exchanges who want to do business in Texas basically have to prove their stake. What's it called? A proof of reserves. They have to show that they actually have enough money to back up how much people have deposited in their exchange. It sounds illogical, and you shouldn't have to make a law for this. But alas, here we are. The Texas legislator announced that we talked about this 2 weeks ago, and it's finally passed now. House Bill 1666, or HB 1666, to establish proof of reserves rules requiring crypto exchanges to provide an audited or on-chain proof of assets at all times. This is logical. This shouldn't be controversial. If you have given your coins to Coinbase, show me that you have my coins. This is the problem with the banking system. This is why blockchain is so powerful, because at any time we can look through the blockchain. We can see the transactions are happening. You can see if you sent me a Bitcoin, I received a Bitcoin. I didn't receive 5. I can't lie to you and say that I have 79 Bitcoin because you can look and see what I have. The same should also happen to crypto exchanges. If you have 35,000 customers who each have given you a Bitcoin, please show us that you have 35,000 Bitcoin in your reserves, if not more, as some, extra form of collateral, what have you. I don't want to see that you only have 22,000. That's going to make me and my friends panic, and then we take our money out of your crypto exchanges. And even more so, this feels like this should have been like a blanket law. I feel like individual states should not have to be like, wait, let's protect the people who are within our borders to make sure that their money's still there. I'm giving like a good 2017, 2018. That should have been a very generic law and rule that was simply passed over every cryptocurrency exchange. But alas, it's just for Texas. Last week, the House of Representatives sent the bill to the state Senate. Discussion of the bill concluded with a vote aiming to amend the state's finance code. The law enacts regulations and duties stating that companies cannot maintain customer funds in such a manner that cannot be fully withdrawn by users, nor can these be used for any other purposes than a customer transaction, i.e., if I give you my coins, you can't use them to trade with them. You can't use them for something else. I've given them to you to hold. That's it. Nothing more. So once again, Texas it was Texas. Was it Arizona? And there was one other, maybe Florida. I think it was Florida. I don't know. Taking the lead when it comes to cryptocurrency laws. That this should not be a discussion. This should not be news. You should know that when you're hungry, you eat. We should know that if I've given my money to a bank or a crypto exchange, that they have my money. That's not... When you pay for a good and service, you should get... Anyway, that's the Texas bill went through. We talked about it before. Now it actually happened. And if you're in Texas, yeah, your cryptocurrency exchanges have to now, prove that they're holding your money, Logic 2023. It's a great live to be a time. Okay. Let's move on. I wish the world made sense. It just doesn't. Like every single day, it just... Oh boy. MicroStrategy co-founder and executive chairman Michael Saylor says the company isn't just aware of ordinals being Bitcoin NFTs. It's interested in how the protocol that set Bitcoin's community abuzz could lead to software innovation. In an interview at Bitcoin 2023 in Miami, Saylor exclusively told Decrypt that the software firm is looking at the Bitcoin NFTs and assessing their potential in terms of application development. Often used to create NFT-like assets on top of Bitcoin, ordinals launched in January, and the protocol, while not embraced entirely by the Bitcoin community, has created a new wave of experimentation with crypto's oldest coin. One recent innovation in the space uses NFTs in an experimental framework by building tokens on top of Bitcoin. So apparently there are now tons of tokens on Bitcoin, and they were done by NFTs. I literally can't figure out how that works. I assume you create a coin and then you put other coins inside of it, but the coins are fungible in that they are like a cryptocurrency, but they're on top of... It was pioneered by the pseudonymous on-chain data enthusiast Domo in early March, and since then, thousands of other so-called BRC20 tokens have been created. All those transactions have been partially or entirely, depending on who you ask, anyone who has eyes and can read numbers, responsible for elevated transaction fees on Bitcoin. There's been a boon for Bitcoin miners who collect transaction fees for their role in securing the network. But lots of members of the community have complained that high fees make it harder for regular people to use Bitcoin. Because basically, there's tons of new coins on Bitcoin. There's tons of NFTs. There are tons of new transactions and things going on. And as such, the transaction fees on Bitcoin have also begun to rise as well. So the people, for those of you who don't know MicroStrategy, they own an egregious amount of Bitcoin, and now they're talking about finding a way to deal with ordinals as well. There's no specifics, by the way, but this was made very popular news. When you're rich, when you have tons of Bitcoin, and you say you're going to do extra things on the thing that you already have, people get excited about it. That's the not much more to the news, literally. That's the MicroStrategy. Michael Saylor is talking about doing stuff with Bitcoin NFTs. We don't know what. Maybe I assume they're just going to be making new coins, and then we're going to have to all be surprised. Like, what? Newer coins? That's crazy. That's the Bitcoin ordinals news. And yeah, let's move on. I sincerely do hope that you have all enjoyed. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters: Jim, Jimmy, American Crypto Academy, Martin Stoyer, Bodie McBoatface, Sam Ratter, Dotha Diddy, Manny Cryptos, Crypto Gambino, Auspicious Agile and Blockchain, Jamie Saad, and let's move on, Empire Queen, Roman Geba, Bitcoin Ben Arachno, Dave the Dealer, Zen, Captain Summing in the Z-Way, Lay Mobarazi, VB Nerd 21, Lauren De Silva, Quoted Biddy, Troy Allgood, Space Case, Need a Miracle, Pattern Noster, Navarro Williams, Utopia 569, Moonman High, XRP, Roma John Sarson, The Animal Reader, A Bibliophobia, Adam Graysick, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist, Coldy 3D, Setsuna, Paxis, Jim Gardner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Yes to Crypto, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, Bake Me a Cake, Tigara, Macho Nisa, and On Crypto with Lionel. Thank you all very, very much for your support. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, great morning, great afternoon, great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and or supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.